Hello, I am Denise Pratt. Welcome to Ed Table Talk Unplugged. It's a show produced by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training. Here we feature key education stakeholders as we discuss issues that are critical to the academic sector. Now, a lot has happened to advance the quality of education, particularly since our country obtained independence in 1973. Today, I'm speaking with our Minister of State, Zane Lightbourne. As our State Minister, Mr. Lightbourne has oversight over the technical and vocational aspects of instruction. Many believe this area is key to providing training and reducing unemployment, particularly among our school leavers. As we celebrate our country's 50th independence, the Education Ministry has made a decision to place greater emphasis on technical and vocational training. Today, our State Minister is here to share his overview of the Ministry's plans for this area. Welcome, Minister Lightbourne.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Well, today I want to get right into it. I know that you are overseeing the technical and vocational aspects of the Education Ministry. So my first question centers around that area. BTVI, our flagship institute currently for technical and vocational training, has seen some expansion throughout our country. Can you share with us a bit about those expansions?
Well, certainly. BTVI is seen as the institute for technical and vocational training in our country. It's supposed to revolutionize the way we do education by addressing a sector of our education system, of our skills gap, where we have not seen success in our students in the past. We have noticed that our curriculum of mainly academic subjects has caused many of our students to be somewhat marginalized, left out, slipped through the cracks. And so we saw the need to address how BTVI operated, what it offered for our students, and how attractive it was, and also how it could bring results for our overall national development. And so the Bahamas Technical Vocational Institute has expanded its reach by not only refurbishing or revitalizing the campus in renovations in Freeport, but also we are putting satellite campuses in Abaco, in Eleuthera, and also at Zoma. And we are looking at the end of our term to have even more islands addressed at the end of this current term. And so we want our people, no matter where they are, not only to have access to technical education, but also to contribute to those islands in which they would have lived and grown up in, and have grown up in, that they would contribute to the development of our family islands. And so we can talk about some of the offerings through some of the memorandums of understanding with other institutions that are first class globally in Canada and the United States. We can talk about the offering of courses now to be able to address the new working environment, the new jobs and skills that includes all of the technology-based skills and training, which are now tied to technical education that used to be thought of as something hands-on.
Excellent. I know that COVID-19 resulted in quite a lot of our students leaving school before they were ready to graduate. You know, some persons were discouraged. So some of our school leavers were not able to fulfill the requirements in order to receive a Bahamas High School diploma. However, BTVI has started what is called a Smart Start initiative in order to assist these students. Can you tell us a bit about this initiative? Yeah,
certainly. COVID-19 has caused a void when it comes to education of some of our students. They would have left without completing. This is very, I would say, concerning, which is, to say the least, that some of our students would not have been able to gain certain skills before leaving school, which is the ultimate cause of education, or should be the ultimate effect that education have on their lives after serving 12 years or more in a system, especially our public school system. So we have partnered with BTVI, causing them to give these students a level of certification offerings in various areas that they may be interested, and it's funded and supported by the government. We initially gave $2 million to this particular process, and this caused many students to be able to benefit freely or to have free education and certification. We want these certificates to eventually be equal to that of receiving a high school diploma, and that is being worked out, where they can actually receive their diploma after school. But we don't want to water down the process by causing students to feel like they don't have to finish school and they can just go to BTVI and get their diploma. So it's a very delicate balance. And therefore, we are looking to have, first of all, their certification so that they can go directly into the job market with skills. And we want to eventually offer them also where they can have that they have achieved their high school diploma through the process. And that is the next step for this. So Smart Start is definitely a benefit for those students, targeting them who would have been deprived of completing their education during high school. We have found during this time also that it extends way beyond COVID. Some students just haven't finished for whatever reasons. And therefore, we're looking for this program to address those students. But it was originally to target the students who, because of COVID, would have been deprived of completing a high school education at that particular time.
So more of the older students then, perhaps?
Certainly, yes. Presently, we have students who want to join as long as we have a budget that can cause us to afford this or to afford them the opportunity. We will continue to offer this to students because BTVI should be seen as the area where we can fill the gaps in education, the skills gaps in the country, because our national progress depends on our students who we need most, which are the builders of our nation, to be able to achieve certification, achieve a high school diploma, and achieve success in their personal lives.
I like the fact that you mentioned that the builders of our nation, the fact that in order to really build this nation, we need students to be able to focus on other areas besides the purely academic disciplines. And I think that is key because for a long time, technical and vocational education was seen as second rate. Yes. Or not as significant as, say, if you're studying a purely academic subject like history or you're studying physics and so forth. Do you think that this impression has changed under your ministry? Oh,
certainly. Well, we have named the Ministry of Education in the wisdom of the Prime Minister. Our cabinet is very diverse, very skillful. And so we, in that type of leadership of the Prime Minister, have come up with this concept that it will be technical and vocational education attached to the ministry's name. So it's the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Studies. It's very important because it gives an overall objective stated in the name of the institution of this particular entity called education. And so we see the need to make sure that all of our students, from the time that they hit school, there is a pathway that lead them to this option if that's how they learn. The type of learning now is integrated into technology, which is seen as something that's mostly academic. So there's not a clearly defined, you're just skilled with your hand type of learning that happens with technical. With technical and vocational, you have to have a base in computer technology, for example, because the way of the computer, artificial intelligence, and how it ties in with technical studies is there is a synergy that's needed in order for success to happen. So the carpenter isn't just building without the use of technology anymore. You have to have computer drafting skills in many cases to understand how to read plans and maps and diagrams on the computer and create these on the computer. Also using technology in terms of those tools to be able to move quicker in your skill, to be able to be more efficient, and to build in a certain way. So it's expected that you have a grasp of computer technology and technology on the whole in technical and vocational education and training. And so to expand on that further, the names of these subjects, it's like construction technology.
Right.
It's not just building trade, it's like drafting. It's not just us looking at what we do with, when it comes to masonry and when it comes to technology of beautification. It's beauty technology, and the sciences are now integrating into technical education. This is very important for us to realize this. But there are a set of students that learn best through doing with their hands, and then they discover they're so great at math. But when it's applied in a particular area that they're interested in, that they want to have a skill in. So after they're done, and the question is asked, well, how did you like the math? And the student says, what math? And you'd be like, exactly. You did math and you didn't even know it. You have to know how to measure. Yes. You have to understand numbers. And so rather than saying that we are isolating, or rather than isolating our children into you're just technical or you just can work with your hands, we have to make sure that our system is responsive to the tactile and the kinesthetic learner. Yes. And to all of the other learners, the visual-based, the auditory-based students, to make sure that we cause them to realize their full potential. And of course, it'll cause our country to realize our full potential.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's time for our first break, Minister. Would you believe that time went by really quickly? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Ed Table Talk Unplugged as we speak with our State Minister Lightbourne about instructional delivery in the career and technical areas. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't be no fool, stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. What's going on, y'all? It's your favorite entertainer coming to encourage all the parents out there. Make sure your children in school. Why they ain't in school? You know if they're in school or not. Listen, education is key and it's very important to the future. We have future leaders in your household. You have the next prime minister, future doctors, lawyers, practitioners. Give me another big word. You all know the people who make lots of money right in your household, but in order for them to get there, to the money, to the goal, to the success, to the CEO position, they must be focused in school now. I know the pandemic got them a little lazy, but we back face to face and we need to jump right back into it. And to the kids who are watching this, I want to encourage y'all to stay focused in school, stay encouraged. Sometimes things might get a little hard, might get a little rough, but you have people there to help you. You have your teachers, you have counselors, you have administrators to help you with any challenges you might have in school or out of school. They are there to help, and they wouldn't be able to help you if they don't know that you need help. You are a future leader, you are a world changer, you are advocate, you are the solution to somebody's problem. But you gotta stay focused now. You gotta get through grade 1 to grade 20. How far is 12? Grade, I mixed the numbers, grade 12. Stay focused. Go to college, go to institution to learn a trade, but just keep going, stay encouraged, go to school, get your education, get your degree, and people like me are waiting for you, world changer. So come, I'm waiting for you. I can stay right here and I can wait for you till you reach.
We are speaking with our State Minister Lightbourne about instructional delivery in the career and technical sector. Welcome back, Minister. Okay, so my first question in this segment will center around apprenticeship program. Now, it's a new program. A lot of people are not aware that it even exists. Please share with us what is this apprenticeship program all about?
Well, we sought to reinvest in a program that is a national apprenticeship program. And by reinvesting means that apprenticeship isn't something new, but it's something that has been dormant, and then it was modified over the years because there are a lot of institutions, public and private, that sought to have workers come in, they want to train them, and they call them in some cases apprenticeship program. But it's not a real structure that we found that was even across the board. And so the cabinet has agreed through leadership of the Prime Minister that we have an apprenticeship program that address our public institutions and private institutions having all of these job training, job readiness, and all of the different names. Some people even call apprenticeship programs are not really apprenticeship. So to understand what it really is, it's firstly an employment program where you get to work and you get skills certified at the end, and you also paid during this particular time. So there's a practical time where you work, and there's a theoretical time where you actually have classroom time that's given, sometimes in days. And so we're developing a national program by looking at the Act which governs an apprenticeship program, and we are bringing a new Act for a national apprenticeship program where the public and private sector would work together. If they're interested in bringing in workers to train to be skilled workers in their particular field, they can have them registered through apprenticeship program, and these persons would be paid. The salary is regulated through the Department of Labor, and also all of the contractual obligations of both the employer and the apprentice. It's regulated. Now, the beauty of this program is that we have seen over time, we import so many workers. There are so many opportunities for our Bahamian people, and they haven't had cause to actually get into these different fields and to take up these opportunities because there's a lack of skill, and people are looking for skilled workers immediately. And instead of giving out job or work permits continuously, we sought to empower our people so that they would be ready and suited for those jobs. So the National Apprenticeship Program is a program where you would have to register your institution, whether it's public or private, for an apprenticeship program. Identify, and we'll help you through our agencies to train those persons whilst they are working for you, to partner and work out the details and payment where the burden isn't completely on the private sector, and cause this partnership to produce these skills, these skilled workers, to be able to work as an apprentice. And after a year, you receive a national certification, and then you can just morph into or be matriculated into the job that you are training to have. And it's transferable. The credits are transferable, or the certificate is transferable. So if you are at a particular job and you have training and you want to go to the next institution with this program, you'll be able, or this certification, you'll be able to just transfer seamlessly with a valued national certification in apprenticeship.
And most of the private sector persons who are buying into this program, which areas are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at the restaurant business.
Okay.
We're looking at, of course, construction and all of the areas that are tied to it. We see a lack of Bahamian workers available in masonry and in various skilled trades. We see that the auto mechanics industry has changed, where it's now hybrid and electrical vehicles.
Yes.
And there is a lack of skilled and training or certified persons available in that area. We see in beauty technology and how we now use technology to include a drafting or computer drafting technology-based part of all of these areas. So students would now, or apprentices, would now be able to get into an area to learn how to do something, even if something is something new, and you've been working in a particular field for some time and just want to change. You can start as an apprentice, get your training where you're still paid, and you don't lose money by taking time to go to school and having to neglect the bills that you may have in your obligations as a family breadwinner. You know, and it's an opportunity.
So if I want to sign up for this apprenticeship program, I need to be of a particular age, bracket?
Yes. So it would speak to, the legislation would speak to the age bracket in which you can be an apprenticeship program, but there will be a pathway that reaches into the schools.
Okay.
To assure that persons who, if you are seeking this option as a potential graduate after you would have left, you can go right into an apprenticeship program if that would be your desire.
Good, excellent. That's a great initiative. For persons who may not be interested in going on to higher education at the moment,
Yes.
or maybe in search of a job, but they still feel they need some more training, I think that's an excellent opportunity, even if more of our private stakeholders would come on board.
Yes, certainly.
I want to talk about the new institute, technical institute that's being slated to come on board on Wolf Road. I think it's called a Polytechnic Institute. Can you share with us information about that,
The
please?
Polytechnic Institute of Excellence.
Excellent.
This is an area that we had put our brains together. We were looking at our model of high school education, where we want strength in the technical and vocational area. Because of that, a number of these initiatives, including what I've mentioned earlier with apprenticeship and all of these expansions that we're doing to BTVI, and some other initiatives that we may get to speak about, we are looking at this particular institute to provide training access to all of our students. We found that it's very costly and sometimes improbable that we would find teachers who can teach auto mechanics, for instance, in 7 or 8 high schools, right? Because we don't have the teachers. We therefore have students who want to get in these programs. The school may be full. And so they're unable to get into programs where they have interest because there's a limited set of resources. The cost of getting equipment in all of these schools, of creating institutions that have all of the technical subjects at each particular high school is something that we realize that we cannot afford right now. And it's very difficult to do. And so we came up with an idea where we create an institution where we can have students interested. They all can go to one place. That place can be now afforded the highest level of technology and technical equipment, and also the necessary skilled teachers, lecturers that would be or trainers who can train these persons whilst they're there.
In high
so
school.
Students, whilst they're in high school.
Right.
And so it doesn't threaten our BTVI
Okay.
model or our institute that is responsible for technical education. What it does is it works in synergy with BTVI. So students can come out with a level of training in a particular area at the Polytechnic Institute and then go to BTVI or go straight to the workforce.
Excellent.
And they
excellent.
can actually get certification at one level, and BTVI would, of course, take them to a next level, which would cause their increase in skills to cause them to be able to make more money.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's time for our next break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready for our final segment of Ed Table Talk. We will be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dyson Knight. Yo! Schools are open. It's been a year, and still some of our students have not returned to class. Teachers, we are appealing to you to use that innovation, that extraordinary effort that you used during the pandemic to make sure that our children continue their education. Take to Twitter, Facebook, Discord, whatever platform you believe necessary in order to find our students. Be the beacon of light that attracts these children to you so that you can instill the confidence in them that they need in life to succeed. I'm counting on you. The Bahamas needs you. Let's find every child.
Education and learning are so very important. This is why schools should always be a safe place. Many say that being picked on or teased is just a part of growing up, that everyone goes through it and it is no big deal, and you should just toughen up. Yes, many people were picked on and made fun of, but that does not make it right or okay. Bullying is behavior that is purposely intended to hurt, embarrass, or exclude someone, and can be physical harm, verbal abuse, or public social rejection. As an advocate for all students, I want you to know that you have the power to take a stand and stamp out bullying in our schools. Parents, if your child reports being bullied, reach out to the school to ensure positive resolutions. If you are being bullied or know about bullying, I am asking you, begging you to help your school counselors to decrease the incidences of bullying on our campuses. Working together, we can put an end to this. We want all of our students in school, so let's keep it safe.
Welcome back to our final segment of Ed Table Talk with our Education State Minister, Zane Lightbourne. We are addressing instructional delivery in the career and technical sector. Minister, first I want to ask you about the Technical Cadet Corps. Now, there's been a relaunch of this particular initiative. Can you tell us more about this, please?
Yeah, certainly. So the Technical Cadet Corps program was a program designed in partnership with some of our corporations. When it comes to water and sewage, when it comes to telecommunications or broadcasting, we had these agencies, and even the Bahamas Electrical Corporation, or Bahamas Power and Light Corporation now. So we had these corporations that we partnered with that would have a cadet program for our young people. they were given a small stipend to attend. They would receive training and then an opportunity for scholarship in these areas. The program, however, identified with mainly the academic students. And we saw, because it's public and private, we saw that a lot of our private students too had the opportunity to take advantage of this, and it left out some of our public school students. Now, they all are Bahamian children, but we want to make it equitable. And so we sought to have 2 tiers in this relaunch to make sure that it appeals to the student who want to do more technical subjects, because this is the majority of our population, our school population, our student population, and our people, our working people. And so we're looking at the tier to be academic in one case, and a second tier to be in the technical field, where we have added the amount of institutions or corporations and companies that want to partner with the government in this technical cadet corps program. And so the cadet corps structure, even though we have it at PTVI, this will be for academics and technically minded students. And you will have the opportunity not to lose what we had, but to enhance what we had by adding a next tier of students who are interested in some of the other areas that are not so academic.
Okay, fair enough. I want to talk a little bit about the Bahamas High School Diploma. And I know that there are 4 requirements in terms of BJCs, math, English, and now we can add into technical subjects. Do you see this making a significant difference to many of our students?
Oh, certainly. From the beginning of this conversation, we identified that most of our students are technically minded in some way. And even in areas where they are academic, we have some areas of technical studies that cater to academics, your engineers, the persons that just like to build things, create, and to be able to move and work around using their hands. And so I see this as an opportunity for us to have all students in a pathway for a diploma. It was the commission's duty that was created for the high school diploma to cause for us to find more ways for our students to be able, their skills, their inner abilities to be realized, where they can achieve a high school diploma that indicates they have successfully completed high school, but through a pathway that includes technical education. And this addresses the majority of our students who leave high school, because 80% of them, they leave and they don't go to college. And of the percentage of the, let's say 70 to 80%, of the percentage, the 30% or more in some cases, that do go to college, some of them never finish their college programs. And so we want to give them opportunity, and that's where, and then you have some who the opposite is the case. So we want to realize the dreams of our people, the potential of our nation builders, the next set of leaders. We don't want to put them aside to dash their opportunities, to cause for them not to be able to contribute to a society and to their personal well-being, because we have not offered opportunities for them. So we need to diversify. And I just see this high school diploma, and the commission in his wisdom that did so much hard work came up with this concept that we must include what we are doing now. If our language speak to technical and vocational studies, then we have to give a pathway to the diploma through technical and vocational studies. So take out the heavy academic requirement of the diploma.
Of course, for those students who want to
and diversify,
go that pathway.
yes, for persons who want to go that path. Because if we're not all fully academic,
Yes.
that don't mean that we can contribute less or we are less intelligent.
Right.
It just means we learn and do things in a different way or desire that case. And a lot of academics, like I say, like technical studies.
Excellent. My final question to you is that I know that you, along with your minister, Glennis Hannah Martin, have been visiting different schools. You've been speaking to our education stakeholders. You're speaking to teachers, principals, administrators, and parents. What would you like to say to our education stakeholders at this time?
I would like to say to them, stay connected. Stay connected to your community. Stay connected to your children, especially through schools. Our education system has shown, whether statistically or historically, that the best formula for success of any student and a nation is for parents, teachers, and the student to all be in synergy and working together for success. We have this responsibility, and we want our students and parents to stay connected, our communities to stay connected. That's why we reached out to these parents. We reached out to the stakeholders, whether it's to do with the unions, whether it had to do with community builders, business persons. We want the community to be connected to education, and we want to connect to them. And so Minister Hannah Martin, in her wisdom, has come in, and she has made that a point, that we're always going to meet. Some people just want to vent. They have good ideas also. Our best ideas are somewhere out there. We cannot believe that we alone are the source of all information and education. And so all we have to do is channel that through a constructive source, which I think PTAs, meetings with parents through education, and all other avenues, whether it's on social media or just using technology. We understood that COVID had brought very great challenges to us. But what it has taught us is that we can connect with each other through other means.
Thank you. You've been watching Table Talk Unplugged. Now, if you would like to receive updates on what's happening at the Education Ministry, check out our website or other social media platforms. Well, that's all for now. Thank you, Minister Lightbourne. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you. The pleasure's been mine.
Thank you. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am Denise Pratt. Thank you for listening in. Happy Independence, Bahamas.